Hello and welcome to Edison TV. Today I'm joined by Michael Riedl, Chief Executive Officer of Team Internet. Team Internet are an international internet business operating across three domains: global domain management, domain name management, online product search, and AI-enabled digital marketing. Michael, many thanks for coming in today. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
And today we're going to focus on the domains business. It's a business that's always been an important contributor to the group's results, but now it seems as if there are perhaps some interesting new growth drivers surfacing. Can you start by introducing the business and explain how it operates and how it's changing?
Very happy to. And the domain business has actually been the stem cell from which everything has been created. And Team Internet, when it was still Centronic, was always a 100% domain name business. What we do here is we have a few main channels. So we are helping the world's leading web hosting companies, the world's leading cybersecurity companies, and some of the leading trademark owners to basically procure all the domain names in all the country where they need it. So that could, for example, be a large hosting company that finds a customer somewhere in South Africa and still wants to deliver to them. They just come to us. We deliver on their behalf. When I say they come to us, of course, it's all fully electronic and happens within milliseconds. We have cybersecurity providers like Cloudflare, for example, who outsource all the domain procurement to us, and also trademark owners like, for example, Rolex, who just wants to make sure that they have owned Rolex, including all its potential typos, like writing XS and KS in every country in the world to avoid people setting up cyber squatting operations.
Right, and you recently announced the .co deal, running the Colombian name essentially. Can you discuss that and explain that why that is transformative to the business generally?
This is a true breakthrough. When we IPO'd as Centronic back in 2013, operating the top-level domains, so the top-level domain is basically an alternative to .com or .uk, operating top-level domains on behalf of their owners was our core business, and it is still a very important activity. And this is now getting the mandate to operate .co is a bit like knighthood. So we've always been happy to operate the leading new top-level domains in the world, whether it's a .xyz, a .site, a .online, a .icu. But now having been granted the mandate from a government, not only a private for-profit company, to operate a national treasure like the local top-level domain, that is, of course, a true accolade. But it's not only an honor, it's also a very profitable operation, and which already gives us a lot of confidence in the prospects of this business for 2026.
Right, so it's clearly a big milestone. So now you've demonstrated your ability to win government-level mandates, sovereign mandates. Does this flag an increased focus on winning these government-level engagements?
Well, we as a company have always been striving to get there, to this level, to get a government-scale contract. In the past, we very often got the second prize, which in an RFP means nothing. But now we finally made the breakthrough that we could basically outcompete every other company on this planet, including large American incumbents like a Verisign or Identity Digital, to land this deal. And as it is, of course, with such a lighthouse win, that then again will be one of many quality checks that other governments might make. So yes, we believe that in the future we will be even more successful in winning such mandates. But also, of course, the professional companies also look for this when they outsource the contracts, and very clearly it's a big credential for our next brochures that we are going to print.
Got you. So yeah, a big flagship customer. And then looking towards next year, you've got the next round of I guess GLTDs with ICANN. Can you discuss that and the opportunity that's that may create for Team Internet?
Yes, absolutely. And there is, of course, a very strong nexus between the topic that we just discussed and this topic. So now in 2026, we will experience or witness a historic event, which is the only second time in human history that private companies can actually apply for new top-level domains, basically new alternatives to .com, UK, or .co. The IPO back in 2013 was basically in the aftermath of this new trend of the new top-level domains that have been started in 2012 and thereafter. New top-level domains have in the meantime become a really big success. The first few years were a little bit shaky, and but when we IPO'd, there were 250 million domain names out there overall, like .com, .net, .org, like the old incumbents, all the country codes like .uk, .de, and so on. And today there's 370 million. So domain names are still a big growth market, which still means 120 million more, 10 million per year. And out of this 120 million extra or additional domain names, almost 40% are these new top-level domains like .xyz, .icu, .online, .site. And we feel lucky that while we only operate 10% of all top domains, well, I shouldn't say only, that still makes us a leading provider. But given that through what we offer, we made our customers very successful, while we manage 10% of all new top-level domains, 50% of all registrations under new top-level domains on our platform. That means in the next round, when people again apply for new top-level domains, they would first think Team Internet before they think anyone else. And hence, this is a great opportunity that we're looking forward. And the success around .co only reinforces that prospect for this next round.
Right. And I've seen you describe DIS as being in the best shape ever. Obviously, you've got these drivers you've just discussed, but you're also doing things like platform consolidation, leveraging AI to enhance the customer proposition and improve efficiency. Can you discuss that in a bit more detail?
Yes, absolutely. So when Billy Green and I took over at the end of 2022, we found the domain business in the weakest shape it has ever been in, inflating cost, stagnant growth. But over the last 2.5 years, we completely turned that around. The EBITDA contribution of that business last year was already like 3 times as high as it was back in 2022, and we will see further increase in this year. And with all these strategic wins like .co and many other customers that have joined us recently, it is, I shouldn't probably for public company so say guaranteed, but we are very confident about our growth and of both the top line and the bottom line for next year. Over all the things that we've been delivered, first we systematically deliver growing faster than the market, so we constantly win market share. Then, because we are providing the most admired service in the industry, we can also expand our margins, so our gross profit is growing even faster than our revenue. And then we've just been very consequent in optimizing the business for efficiency by, as you said, consolidating platforms, sunsetting outdated products, and in particular over the last 2 years, implementing more AI to automate more or let's say less challenging processes or more repetitive processes. And this is actually leading to EBITDA growth being very high. So those who have read our annual report 2024 will have seen that the EBITDA has grown by an absolute 46% from $13 to $19 million. People also follow our earnings guidance earlier this year will know that we expect a similar profit increase in terms of absolute amounts from 24 to 25. And with the wins that we have, it is also quite possible that from 25 to 26, we could see a similar increase in profit contribution again.
Very interesting. And looking across the portfolio of the businesses you've got, they're all quite different profiles and quite different stages in their development, if you like. You've got the growth within DIS, and then you've got internationalization for comparison, and then transformation for search. What do you feel about that portfolio of assets, and how do you manage those going forward?
So I'll take that in reverse order. So very early on, basically in the first 30 days after I had taken over as group CEO, I realized the different trajectories that these businesses are on, the different cultures that are required to make these businesses succeed. And this is why very early on we put in divisional general managers who basically then can think about only one business day in, day out, 7 days a week. And that has been the absolutely right decision, as we've seen in the very quick turnaround of the domain business, the successes that we celebrate in comparison. And even though we've been thrown some curveballs in the search division, also here with this structure, we can now at a very fast pace repivot to this to the new workflows. And or last time we spoke about how quickly this new Google workflow with related search on content is scaling up. And yet, while each of these businesses is a success, or at least has a very successful response to its challenges, we can't ignore the different trajectories that they are on. We see that it is difficult to find investors who feel equal love for all three businesses. I've consistently said and still repeat it until today, all three businesses are great businesses to be in, but they all resonate with different investment styles. And generally, the time of conglomerates is probably coming to an end. We've seen very successful restructurings also here in the UK. I'm just taking Amalo or Playtech as examples that have sold divisions for nearly the entire enterprise value and even above their market cap. That then later found interested buyers for the remaining assets that were resulting from it. And it would be a logical outcome if at the right point in time, when the right buyer is there to offer the right price for the specific assets, that we would go down a similar route. As a public company, you're by default always on the block for sale, and but very clearly the board and me personally will not stand in the way if we see that we can unlock shareholder value this way. And whether this happens this year or next year is still in the stars. But I've already at prior interviews said it's more a when than an if.
That's very clear. Michael, many thanks for joining today.
Thank you, Dan. Happy to be here.